there we have our awesome tower crew ready to welcome them.
There you see Audrey giving some hugs to the tower crew. She is, of course, our vice president of mission ops for New Shepard, so of course she knows the whole team very intimately.
A lot of the team today are launching their boss to space. First Jeff, now Audrey. And there goes Glenn.
Into the hatch he goes. All of this is very carefully coordinated. You practice this many times during the rehearsal. You go in, walk in, you kind of walk clockwise around the escape motor, which is in the center of the capsule. That, of course, then you harness in. You have practiced this many times during the training, and then you'll have crew member 7, Sarah Knights in this case, who's going to come around, make sure you're properly harnessed in, and make sure things are nice and tight.
Yeah, and Ariane, I know you've mentioned me before, you board from the highest seat number first, and then the seat number 1 is the last board, which is, of course, Audrey Powers today.
And there goes William Shatner. One last photo op before he enters the capsule.
What a surreal moment. Captain James Tiberius Kirk is boarding our Blue Origin spaceship. Ariane, I know you've discussed your astronaut training extensively. Now, obviously buckling the seatbelt is a very important part, and they've practiced this at this point, what, hundreds of times?
I don't know about hundreds, but certainly dozens and dozens of times. You can do this, as I've said before, upside down, inside out, upward, backwards and forwards. And by the way, it's important that you can do so. This is probably the easiest moment. A little bit more complex is, of course, when you're getting back in your seat after you've been up there at 0G to get the harness, to get into the harness, and then, of course, buckle it properly. But again, under the guide of Sarah Knights, they know how to do this. I was actually asking them earlier, who is the fastest at it, and they said, of course, Audrey Powers was, because she's done this even more than they have, so she had kind of a leg up on them. There is Chris Bosshausen in the window on the left, and there goes Sarah Knights, our crew member 7, into the capsule to do last-minute harness and safety checks on the astronaut. There is Audrey on the left.
Once crew member 7 is, of course, comfortable that all of our astronauts look at their smiling faces from those big, beautiful windows. Once Sarah makes sure all of our astronauts are ready to fly today and they close that hatch, of course, we'll turn it over at that point to crew member 7's other half, Kevin Sprague, who'll be the voice from above, the capsule communicator.
Just another extraordinary day for obviously our customers, for our astronauts, but for Blue Origin. Thank you all for joining us from around the world for this event. We've got a couple more minutes to go. Why don't we toss it back to the rocket and check out New Shepard as she continues to be ready for launch this morning.
Take time to enjoy every aspect of this journey, from liftoff to touchdown. Jeff has done a magnificent job of ensuring the smoothest, most memorable ride, and Kevin and Sarah are top-notch instructors. Becoming part of the Blue Origin family is an honor like none other I have received. Together, let's cross new boundaries and set new records. I will be watching your liftoff with great enthusiasm and sending my best wishes. Godspeed, Audrey, Bill, Glenn, and Chris. Much love, Wally. New Shepard astronaut Demo, whose real name is Mark Bezos, has this to say. You lucky bastards.
As we prepare for this rocket launch, that is quite all right. We have talked about it extensively, Jackie, at the beginning of this show. Safety is number one. We want to make sure that everybody in that mission control, as well as on top of that rocket, is ready for flight today. And with that, everybody, we have cleared the hold. We are at T-minus 15 minutes to go. Now 14 minutes and 50 seconds. This is what rocket launches are about. It is really exciting.
So those wedge fins at the top of the booster will be the first to deploy on its way back. And then as the booster continues down, we will put out those drag brakes. The booster is coming down hot at this point, very fast. Those drag brakes will significantly slow it down. As we approach the landing pad, that BE-3 engine will relight. It will hover, which we often are asked if that's CGI. It is real, that hover. And then the booster will softly touch down in the West Texas desert. The capsule, meanwhile, on its way back to Earth. The first thing to happen here is those drogue parachutes will deploy, slowing down that capsule, followed by the beautiful big main parachutes. And then just before that soft touchdown, we do fire some retro thrusters. They do kick up a bit of dirt out in West Texas, but that does ensure a very soft touchdown of about 1 to 2 miles per hour for our crew out there.
It really is a soft landing back down here in the West Texas desert. And as a reminder, this is the standard flight profile. We are now in full customer operations, but we have tested this flight profile and vetted it across several flights over the last several years. We had 15 consecutive flights, remember, before we decided to put people on board. We wanted to make sure that we understood not just the vehicle in nominal conditions, but to really push the envelope and stretch the vehicle to make sure that it was a robust vehicle for our customers. And of course, you heard about how we think about safety and development throughout the culture, but also in the operations, manufacturing, et cetera, from Andrew Lake, who joined us on the show a little bit earlier. All right, with that, we are at T-minus 11 minutes and 50 seconds to go until launch. Our 4 astronauts are in the capsule, harnessed in. We see Audrey Powers on the left. You can't quite see it, but going clockwise, we have William Shatner, then Chris Bosshausen, and Glenn DeVries in the capsule, all ready to go for launch as we tick down here. Let's take a moment, continue to gaze at our beautiful rocket as she prepares for flight this morning.
Here we are at just about T-minus 10 minutes until launch with our astronauts and especially our customers, Glenn and Chris, on board. There's really no way to fully understand how they're feeling in this moment without being on there. But we do know someone who has experienced this and can share a little bit about that. Our first customer, Oliver Damon, 18 years old, the youngest person ever to go to space. Let's hear it from him.
There was not a single moment in life that I thought I would be the youngest astronaut ever. And to have been given this chance by Blue is so amazing. To meet the other astronauts and see everything is so cool.
We'd like to run this one through at full speed.
We're going up in that tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
I think there was not a single nerve in my body that was afraid. I think it's because of the track record of Blue. The launch and the power of the G's, you're going up to the sky.
Oh, wow.
And of course the weightlessness.
Oh, wow, God.
Pretty cool. What I've just been through, I've been dreaming about all my life. Let's hope that many, many more people can do this. Because this experience you should share with more and more people. It's so amazing.
There go the aft fin checks at the base of the rocket. Our astronauts can feel that. They are sitting at the top of a 60-foot rocket, about 20 meters tall. T-minus 1 minute. And there you can just see slightly there the gimbaling engine at the base of the rocket. All right, everybody. Chris Blosshausen, Glenn DeVries, Audrey Powers, and William Shatner are about to go where very few humans have gone before. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to launch this rocket. Godspeed, New Shepard.
Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Command engine start. 2, 1.
With the altimeter at the base of the screen as well as the speedometer. They are gaining speed on their climb to space. We have confirmed max Q. This is when the aerodynamic stresses on the vehicle were at their maximum. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live for New Shepard's second human flight with Audrey Powers, William Shatner, our customers Glenn DeVries and Chris Blosshausen on board. They are well on their way to space. So far, a nominal flight, a clean burn on our Blue Engine 3. New Shepard giving them a beautiful flight to space this morning. The rocket is climbing towards an altitude. We're aiming just over the Kármán line, the internationally recognized line of space of 100 kilometers. That is about 328,000 feet. And a gorgeous view down the rocket. And now we've had main engine cut off. The BE-3 engine has shut off. And in just a moment, we're going to separate the capsule from the booster. And at that point, our astronauts will have the opportunity to get out of their harnesses and enjoy the beauties of zero G. Let's wait to listen. And there you can see a clean separation between the capsule and the booster. And there you can see the capsule from the top of the booster. They are continuing their ascent over the Kármán line. You'll know when they hit apogee, when the speed hits 0. And there they are, over 328,000 feet, over 100 kilometers. Welcome to space. The newest astronauts on board our crew capsule. And there they are. They have just about hit their apogee at about 351,000 feet. And while we don't have apogee, I can just imagine Jackie, they are having the time of their lives. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live from West Texas. So far, a nominal flight for our second human crew. So exciting, Jackie, to have sent Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner, to space. I cannot wait to hear his commentary upon return, as well as our two customers, Chris Bosshausen from Australia, to all the fans tuning in from down under. A big shout out to you guys, as well as Glenn DeVries and our very own Audrey Powers. They are coming back home. The booster, of course, is going to beat the capsule back home. It is more aerodynamically shaped, of course, at the base of the capsule. It's kind of a blunt end, so it's less aerodynamic. What we're going to see coming up shortly is at the top of the rocket, we have the ring fin. There's some what we call the pie fins that extend from the ring fin, as well as the drag brakes. The pie fins, the wedge fins, help stabilize the vehicle, kind of like the feathers at the back of an arrow. And then you will also see the drag brakes. And as you mentioned, Jackie, it cuts the velocity dramatically. There you can see the wedge fins are out. Here we see the descent. We are going to expect the BE-3 engine to relight just at about 3,600 feet or about 1,200 meters above ground level. Let's wait for that now. The drag brakes have deployed. And here we come, New Shepard. Provided a beautiful flight to space for our second human crew. Wow, that gets me every time we do this live down here in Texas. The sonic boom is so cool. Drag brakes are folding back in, as have the wedge fins. Just looks like you could fuel her up and go again. What do you think, Jackie?
And even when you know to expect the sonic boom, it still catches you off guard every time.
Talk about a rumble. A beautiful sight of our New Shepard rocket there in the West Texas desert. But of course, the show is not over. The capsule is descending. We are waiting for first the drogue chutes to deploy. Those are very much like the guide parachutes. They will subsequently be followed by the main parachutes that will first reef and then fully inflate. And there go the drogue parachutes. And here come the mains. Whew, what a flight. You can already start to hear the cheers from outside our stage here in West Texas.
through a piece of fog cola. Like there's a lot. Look out your window, Audrey. Oh, yeah, I see it. You know what? I can't see the booster. Where is it? Oh, it's on the cover. It's going to rotate. Where is it? I want to find that pod and take it home. How about that, guys?
How about that, guys? That was unlike anything they described. All right, we got less than 1,000 feet.
All right. Raise. Let's down.
And here comes our crew back into the desert.
Everybody.
Newest astronauts 596, 97, 98, and 99.
That's unlike anything you'll ever feel. Ever feel again.
Stand by touchdown. Stand by touchdown.
And capsule touchdown. Welcome back. The newest astronauts, Audrey Powers, William Shatner, our customers, Glenn DeVries, and Chris Poshausen. What a day for you. Welcome back. I cannot wait to talk to them, Jackie, and just get what they experienced up there this morning. What a clean and beautiful flight from the rocket for our astronauts.
What an absolutely stunning flight. And I also loved hearing that audio of them on their way back about how this experience was for them. And I can't wait to hear their stories.
Well, you heard William Shatner say, this is like nothing I've ever experienced before. So coming from a man who in theory has experienced space
Who
for
has
decades.
gone warp speed and traveled the entire intergalactic universe. This was like nothing he's ever seen before.
What a day for our astronauts. So now our team is preparing landing safety operations and recovery of our astronauts from the crew capsule. We'll be on the ground at the landing site to follow the action in just a bit, maybe even talk to the world's newest astronauts.